Hi everyone, if you clicked this video, you're probably interested in the beginner's guide to Linux. This is the first episode and I'll be discussing these commands. So, my name is Eric and I've been using Linux from the year 1999. It's quite a long time. And what I want to do in these episodes is teach you everything I know basically. There should be a playlist popping up anytime soon. If you're already familiar with these commands I discuss in this video, check the playlist to see if there's anything else you want to learn, and do let me know if you miss anything. Without further ado, let's dig into the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the Linux Basics series. And in this series I'm gonna basically show you the beginnings. And what better way to do it than to use the command line. So here you have the console open. There are various other console type applications out there. Just like the start button, and if you click on it, terminal. So as you can see, I have a couple of them here. Xterm is one. So this is like the old school terminal. As you can see, it's very small font size as well. So the one I have here, console, is a very modern terminal. You have also various others. Remove that again. So first thing you need to do is just to learn how to navigate. cd is the command you use to change directory, and we could go into documents, for example. As you can see here, now you have the path is in front of here. So if you want to list the files, you just type ls, and you have 3 files in here. And you have them side by side. So if you want to have them in a list, hit -L, and then you have them in an ordered list, as you can see. So, and if you look at the timestamps, they're not the same age, the files. So if you want to sort them and have the newest below, then add tr, and then you have the newest one of the files. You cannot see it milliseconds, but this is the newest one. So if we, for example, remove the, let's remove the a.txt. And to create a new file, you can touch a new.txt. So if you do ls_ltr again, then you have the newest one here. So it sorts it by descending date. So if you would like to create like a hidden directory, and hidden directories are handy for example, config files, and you can use the mkdir command. And if you want to create a hidden directory, add dot, and let's say hidden directory. So if you hit ls again, you will not see it. Obviously it's hidden. If you hit -a, you see every file. As you can see here, the hidden directory is in there. And also it's handy to do, so sort them and hit see everything. And as you can see, the hidden directory is here, and the directory is marked by D. So if you have a D here in this list, it will be a directory. So that's it. And you can store your files in there, config files. If you were example to hit in the home. So if you want to see everything in the home directory, this is the shorthand, the tilde, shorthand for home. And you can see a couple of them in here. Fonts, for example, local is one, and var and config. Yes, your config files. So you have lots of hidden files and directory in your home directory. If you have Linux, then just try it. So if you do ls-l on the home directory, you see just a couple of them actually. So the hidden directory is very handy. So if you have that hidden directory and you want to remove it, you do rf to force it. So recursive is R and F is forcing the hidden directory, and you can remove it. But if you don't do that, for example, if you hit, this also works, but -R works. So let's make the directory again. For example, if you want to see the history of what you did, here you can see. And I've here the make directory. You can easily select it. If you now hit Ctrl L to clear and middle click your mouse, then you make it again. So if you want to remove the directory, hidden directory, like this, then it says, well, cannot remove. If you have -F, it also says cannot remove. Basically, you just need to do -R to remove the hidden directory. There you go. Now it's gone. All right. So that's like moving around, creating files, and just the basics. Just as one simple thing. So I showed you a couple of simple commands. Let's go to extend upon it a little bit. If you hit CD and then enter, you will always get into the home directory. If you're not sure in which directory you are, you do pwd, so print working directory. So you see now home egraaf is my username. Going back to the files, you see a couple of files in here. Let's go into downloads. Downloads. If you tap, you autocomplete. So let's do that again. CD and CD down. And if you tap, you autocomplete into downloads. All right. And if you hit CD, before we do that, we see here two directories with DO in capital D. So if you do CD DO and if you tap, nothing happens. If you tap twice, it says, well, what do you want? And it shows you so this is like the out of the box bash behavior. Downloads. All right. Okay. So there are a couple of directories in here, a couple of files in there with various sizes. And as you can see here, this is like an NVIDIA binary installer. And if you count this, it's very difficult, of course, to know exactly how big it is. You would have to guess. My guess will be 415 megabytes, and this is 88 megabytes. But if you're not sure, ls-lh, and if you hit that, you will see it does a human readable, so it's easily readable. So here you see here about 400 megabytes, and like I just said, like I just guessed. Just a small interjection here. So if you have, I also need to look this up. If you hit ls-l, you will have 415 here. So it will be like 416 megabytes or something like that, rounded off. If you do ls-lh, it will be 396. And there's a difference, there's a big difference, right? It's basically the difference between, let me see if I can pull up the image. So here you have, so there's not the image. So this is way more detail than you need, but I wanted to give it anyway. This is a basic series. So you basically have the binary system and a decimal system. And what you commonly refer to as kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte and stuff like that is in the decimal system. And kibibyte, mebibyte, gibibyte, that's the binary system. This is actually like the preferred standard. But normal people use this one to talk about like megabytes, and it's easier to understand. But it gives a lot of confusion, and I also had to look it up. So we have here this table, and I put the 415, etc. in here, convert. So see here, this is the base 10, and this is the base 2. The base 10, that was the gigabytes, and this is the GB bytes, right? So you see the 395.9, and if you go back here, so it's 396. So ls-l puts out base 2, and ls puts out the other one, base 10. So the decimal, and this is the binary base. Yeah, I just wanted to give you that real quick as reference information. That's it. All right. And if you're not sure on how to, for example, do something, so you have the manuals. So man, ls, for example, and the manual page for ls. So ls, it has the name and how to use it, synopsis. So ls is the command and then optionals and then arguments you can give. And it's in brackets, so it's optional. And I showed you this one already. So A, and you can go there. I think I showed you the most common ones actually already. So each Unix application, or at least most of these, let's call it Linux applications, have the manual. And I said Unix because, like when they created these programs, many of times they didn't have access to internet. So now we obviously Google everything, but in the past times, what they depended on the manual. And that's why the manuals are actually very good. So if you do man, and then you have the man, so the manual page for the manual, it's very interesting. So an interface to the online reference manuals. If you hear all these texts explaining everything you would like to know about a certain program. Pretty cool, right? All right, so I showed you also how to get information and talked about the manual. And one other, if you do -- help, it's basically similar, but a little bit more abbreviated. But it shows the similar structure actually as the manual page. Right, but it's a little bit quicker way of getting help with commands. So I think that sums it up for now. So creating directories, removing them, creating files, removing, and navigating the file system. That's it for this episode. See you in the next one.